My bad, guys. Let me know how the sound sounds right now. Let's just make sure that we're all good. Yeah, no sound. Okay. Anyway, yeah, I was saying. So really great to see so many people from all over the place. We've got Vancouver. We've got San Francisco, Victoria, Quebec City. So it's good to have all of you here, and welcome to another Sunday stream. We're good now, so there we go. Yeah, my apologies about that. How's everybody doing this week? Hope you're all doing well. Now we're cooking with gas. Exactly. It's been a pretty busy week, for us over here at Prince of Travel. We've done a lot of launches, and it's always a bit draining, a bit exhausting when that happens, but we're glad to have it over with, and I'm excited to share with you, kind of walk you through some of the things that we've been rolling out. And aside from that, this week we've also got a fair bit of pretty exciting stuff to cover. We've got news from TD, from Aeroplan, from American Express, which kind of came out of the blue, and it's given us a fair bit of responsibilities to cover all of it, and also to delve deeper into it over the coming weeks, and yeah, over on the website, on the YouTube channel. So it's gonna be plenty of stuff to talk about, and I'm sure there's even more in store as we head into the second half of 2021. So we'll wait for a few more people to join, and then we'll delve right into it. But yeah, I'm excited to share with all of you. You look tanned. Have you been traveling lately? I think we went out to Salt Spring Island the other weekend, and we went canoeing, and it was all in the sunshine, and I forgot my sunscreen, so that's probably why. Hello from London. Hey Matthew, thanks for tuning in all the way from the UK. What's it like over there? Because people who followed us for a while will know that London's one of my favorite cities, mostly because I did study abroad there many years ago, and also because of my undying love for Arsenal Football Club. Although, given today's result, the less said about them, the better, really. But yeah, must be late over there, and seems like lockdown is lifted, and I don't know, is stuff back to normal over there in the UK? Is it good to visit? Let me know, because I do miss my frequent London trips for sure. Thomas, finally Vancouver is sunny. Yeah, today was sunny. Today I think it was actually a bit chilly in the mornings. I've got my long sleeves on. And then we went out to the farmer's market here in Kitsilano, and it got a little bit better around noon. And hopefully the warmer weather sticks around for a long time, because don't know if we're ready to say bye to it just yet. Is the border agents still on strike? I don't think they are. I think, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, I think that's been resolved. Although I do know when the border agents were on strike, somebody let me know a while ago that they only perform essential functions when they're on strike. So that's perhaps your chance to buy a lot of stuff in the US and bring it home. Somebody mentioned that. I thought it was pretty ingenious. But I think they've fixed that. Jazzy Jess, Ricky's in Vancouver. You thought, yeah, so I lived in Montreal for a year last year, from 2019 to 2020. Then I moved back to Toronto, which is where I lived before, for about 6 months before moving out to Vancouver here in April 2021. Yeah, I do like moving around and having a change of scenery every now and then. Smooth sailing over at Vancouver. Sounds good. I know somebody else who's been walking across the Peace Bridge just today. It's the same trip that I had made a couple of months ago now, 2 months, coming back to Canada. I think probably, yeah, we spoke last time already, but I do want to highlight just how much of a relief it is to come back from an international trip and not have to quarantine. I mean, that's a special feeling that I had last week when I came back from San Francisco from my California trip. and to be told you're admitted as a fully vaccinated traveler, no need to quarantine, that was just an amazing feeling after all the quarantine we've been doing. All right, so I have a few exciting things to share with you guys today. This is like a pretty monumental week in terms of this platform that we've been trying to build over on princeoftravel.com. Very much trying to transform our site from just a content kind of place where you come for content into a platform for us to be able to do more things in the future in order to bring the power and the magic of traveling the world by maximizing your credit card points and loyalty rewards to as many people as possible, which is always very much the work that we do here. So I'm going to start by popping over to our homepage, and let's give this a go. You'll notice a new login button at the top, and that's where you can set up your Prince of Travel account and get access to a few extra features that we've built, whether it's for the paid memberships or the free membership. As you guys may know, right, before we had Gold, Platinum, and Royal Platinum over on Patreon.com, which is a platform for supporting creators, right? Supporting creators on whatever, YouTube or other platforms that you like, and you set up a Patreon, and then you can join the membership, pay a monthly fee, and support the creator. And I think that was a very useful platform for us back when we started on Patreon. That was in November 2020. Over time, I always envisioned that this membership model would transition onto the site itself because it gives us a lot more flexibility to do a lot more things in the future. But in doing so, we, obviously the paid membership's not for everybody. It's for people who would like that closer degree of interaction with some of these benefits, with some exclusive behind the scenes content, with the Discord chat server, that we participate and engage in very frequently. Some extra live streams similar to the one that we're doing now, but for members only. And then at the top tier, very much a personal touch from myself to guide you along your points journey, and to also build that circle of trust with other Royal Platinum members who'd all like to be part of the same membership circle. So those are the benefits that we're putting forth. Right now we don't have a Prince of Travel account just yet, so let's go to sign up. Those are the benefits that we're putting forth right here. They're very much ported over from our Patreon service that we had before that now should be, should be discontinued. If you go to patreon.com/Prince of Travel now, you'll see that you can no longer sign up. It just says that we've ported over to princeoftravel.com/membership. Let's begin with the free membership though, because I want to show you some of the features that we have, that we've got going on. What I'll do is I'm going to pop back to the camera here, and I'm going to log into my own account because that's where I can pretty easily demonstrate to you guys the features that we've got going on. So if you had signed up for a free membership, put in your name, email, and home airport, because once you have your home airport, it'll surface in the comment section and allow you to kind of show it off as a little bit of a flair. All right, so let's pop over to our homepage. If you're logged in, you'll notice your name shows up here. And then if you click through, so right now we are logged in as a free member. And if you click through, you'll access this little members dashboard that we've built. And we really do envision this as eventually, a one-stop shop for all of your, your needs and your features that you might use as you're engaging with the site, as you're planning out your, travel journey. Right now, we've launched with this sort of dashboard feature. We've got some useful links. We've got upcoming events, which we'll also talk about. And then at the free membership tier, you've got some benefits going on. You've got your username and flair that you can keep consistent in the comment section. You can save your favorite posts as part of the reading list, and you can buy event tickets. So let's talk about the reading list first, and then we'll talk about the comment section, and then we'll talk about the events. Right now, if you're a new account, you haven't added anything to the reading list, We built this feature very much because there's lots of content on princeoftravel.com. It was 4 years worth of content now. So we want to, for people to be able to, let's say, scroll down. Let's say you've, you're planning a trip to the UAE. You'd love to know what Canadian travelers need to know as Dubai and Abu Dhabi are reopening. You can quite easily scroll down. Let me just make sure you can see this. There we go. So at the very corner of the screen of your browser window, you'll see the add to reading list button, and you can click on that, and it just serves as a one-stop shop bookmark whenever you're on the site. So once it's on there, it's on your reading list. And then if we pop over to the account over here, refresh the page. Yeah, there we go. And there we go. We've got the UAE reopening to Canadian travelers. You have it on your reading list. So yeah, we're excited to roll out this feature just to kind of address some of the feedback that we've been hearing, which is that content is sometimes scattered all over the place and can be hard to find. So whenever you're logged in, you can see the reading list feature, you can add it to your reading list and come back to it later. So that's one feature on your free account, which I think many of our readers are going to find pretty useful. We can also pop over to comments. This will show you the comments that you've posted, over time, and all the kind of a log for you to like track all the comments that you posted. You can see these are the comments that I've posted over the past week or so, and then you can keep scrolling down and it'll continue loading more. And then what we've also built is this inbox feature, which will show you comments that others have posted in reply to you, so that you can check out, just like have it as an easy place for whenever people reply to you. You can click it and it will go to the comment for you to then reply. Seems like there's there might be a little bug with the feature, I think, where most of the titles are all on one page. So maybe we'll look into that, but we'll definitely get these sorted out as soon as possible. One more feature I'd like to highlight, the member feed. This is something reserved for our paid members at the paid tiers. Behind the scenes stuff, extra photos and commentary from our trips. We'll do giveaways there every now and then. We've given away Aeroplan points. We've given away Aeroplan status passes. We've given away Hilton Gold status ones, just because Hilton was doing a promotion where Hilton Diamond members can give away gold. And anytime there's something like that where myself or someone on the team has extra stuff that we don't benefit from, or our players 2, 3, 4 don't benefit from, we'll give it away for our members just as a little thank you. Yeah, we've got giveaways, we've got extra little tidbits here and there. I would say the key information you need to know will always be free on princeoftravel.com. So it's really for a little bit extra for you to nibble on as you browse the site. So if you were to upgrade your membership, you would then get access to the feed. And this is also where things like our extra live streams that we do and our top tier membership chats that we do, that goes here if you're signed in at the right membership level. I don't want to force it upon anybody. There's no pressure to join if it's not for you. Just like to let you guys know. All right, so upcoming events. This is also something we launched this week, and I'm super excited to finally get together with the community again. Right, after so long, after 2 years since our last Prince of Travel event, it's gonna be great. I'm really thrilled to just finally be able to connect with people and have those, in-person conversations over drinks, over food, and talk about what we all love, right? And kind of help each other out, make new friends, find new people to connect with as we all begin to look forward to international travel again. So Prince of Travel's signature event, you'll find this at princeoftravel.com/events/Vancouver 2021. I'm also going to pin this into the chat once we're done here. Welcome back to the community, right? Like I said, we're super thrilled to finally be able to connect in person once again. It's really going to be a good time. I'm very excited for this. And we've got some of our events, standout features going on. It's very much going to be a celebration of reuniting the community and getting people together once again. Look, after so long, I think it's going to be a pretty wild time, especially because of the 3-hour open bar that we've got going on here at the JW Marriott in Vancouver. Look, for our first event after the pandemic, we really wanted to, make it an occasion to celebrate. And so that's why when it came to, the pricing of the event, when it came to the minimum food and drink commitment that the JW Marriott was asking, it just made sense in the end to go with the open bar option. With 3 hours at the open bar with with the drinks free flowing, I think it's going to be a great time. And keep in mind, open bar goes from 2 p.m. to around 5 p.m., which is, we're going to look at the agenda later on. And after that, as is always the case at these events, Toronto, Vancouver, Montreal events that we did previously, we always stay long into the night as long as we're available. And the conversations keep flowing and the party keeps going. So I very much intend to stay after. After the event, we'll probably, disperse down to Honey Salt at the JW Marriott or some of the dining and drinking establishments by the casino on Park Vancouver, and we'll keep those conversations going and keep chatting, because that's a lot of the times where the real friendships get struck up, I find. Because at the event, right, it's busy, everybody's there, but afterwards you get to sit down, you get to strike up those conversations with people that you find particularly interesting, and keep it going there. Now we've also got some prizes. We've only announced 2 of the many prizes that we have set, but one of the grand prize, I'd say, is the presidential suite at the JW Marriott Park Vancouver. I've never stayed in this suite before, and I've had a couple of friends who have gotten complimentary upgrades to the Sky Suite, and I've been red in the face with jealousy because of that. But every time I stay at the JW Marriott, I get upgraded to the 1-bedroom suite, either with mountain views or with water views. Those are nice enough suites, but this Sky Suite looks incredible. I've never had the pleasure of staying, and one of you will, right? One lucky attendee will be able to stay at the presidential suite for one night. And 2 bedrooms, 2.5 bathrooms. You could probably share it with some friends of yours or bring the whole family. One lucky attendee will win this presidential suite. As part of our event, we've got some guest speakers, right? And 2 of them are Aeroplan executives who've, Scott O'Leary, you guys may know from the previous live streams we've done here on the channel, and with Anshul as well, so on Anshul's Points, Miles, and Bling stream. And I think this is going to be a great opportunity for people who are very dedicated to the Aeroplan program to ask their questions in person and pose their questions to the Aeroplan executives and get some of their thoughts and opinions as well. And we'll most certainly also be encouraging Scott and Derek over here to indulge in the open bar a little bit so that they can be a little bit more open with their knowledge and with any secrets that they might want to share. Certainly, they're also very dedicated to travel and points and loyalty. They work in the space. They're on the other side of the Great Divide, let's say, but we all speak the same language. And I'm really looking forward to picking their brain as part of our little fireside chat that we've got planned, and then also inviting the audience to ask their own questions and clearing up the air around many, many different topics that I'm sure we all have. Finally, amenity kits and merchandise. Look, we really wanted to pull out all the stops with this event and take it to a different level compared to before. So what we've done here is everybody who attends will get, collectible items and some pretty cool stuff from both from the hotel, from ourselves, and we're looking to be very creative with this and hopefully, add some extra flair to the event through these amenity kits. In addition, I think it was on these live streams back in March or April of last year. March or April of 2020 was when the idea for Prince of Travel merchandise was first sparked, right? And People have been talking about it here and there and saying like it'd be fun to get some bag tags that we can, put on our luggage and spot other Prince of Travel readers or YouTube viewers in the airports and stuff. So that's very much what we've got planned in the pipeline for a merchandise page on princeoftravel.com later in 2021. But before that, we'll be soft launching our products here at the event. You'll have the opportunity to get some, to be the first to get your hands on some items we've worked with, some pretty well loved, well respected manufacturers to make, and I'm really excited for this. I think pretty soon, hopefully, I'll be able to show off some of them here on the live stream as well. But I'm pretty thrilled to finally be able to soft launch this at the event, and after that formally launch it, because it is something I've been working on for over a year now. It's trickier than you might imagine to get all the moving pieces in place. The agenda: 1 p.m. registration. We'll start with some opening remarks. We'll do a fireside chat with the Aeroplan executives, followed by Q&A. This is what we have planned right now, but part of me is also thinking maybe we'll find a way to do like a moderated session that has audience involvement throughout the whole session, just to get people more involved and hold Scott and Derek a little bit accountable, right, for their new program. Have them, put them on the hot seat a little bit in terms of some of the stuff that we may not like so much. Obviously, credit where it's due, some of the stuff that we do like, but other stuff we have been calling out, as in dynamic pricing and stuff like that. So it'll be good to get a few answers straight from the horse's mouth. We've got a networking session after that, which is also when the open bar begins. Now, previous events that we've done, Toronto, Vancouver, Montreal, this was all before COVID. Networking was kind of a free-for-all that we just said, like, okay, guys, tune into network, go amongst yourselves and mingle and chat. And some of the feedback that we've gotten largely reflects that people would like to have a little bit more structure to the networking, because otherwise it starts to be a little bit, maybe a little bit unapproachable, because sometimes people gather together in large groups. If you're less comfortable mingling in large groups, sometimes you don't necessarily get the most out of networking. And so we'll definitely have a greater element of interactivity here in both networking rounds, and to encourage people to meet as many different people as possible, get those open bar drinks flowing with as many people as possible, and really enjoy themselves as we get together once again after so long. Anshul and I are hosting a session on the journey to miles and points mastery after that. This format is fluid for now. We'll let you know more as the event date approaches. But for what Anshul and I wanted to do here is use our own experiences and speaking from our experiences, share what it might look like for somebody going from complete beginner to somebody who has all the finer points down about the game and who's comfortable dabbling with some of the more advanced aspects of the game. And there's for us the challenge may well be like, what's the best format to present this in? And what I can assure you is we'll be putting a lot of thought into how we present this, and ensuring that a lot of different types of travelers are going to be attending the event, trying to ensure that everybody gets a little bit of something out of this. Whether you are an experienced, let's say, business traveler, let's say you're a super elite member who's there mainly to ask Scott and Derek questions, we want to ensure you get something out of our little session, our little talk as well. Whether you're somebody who's just beginning and looking to find some of the more advanced strategies that's harder to find online, right? We want to also be able to equip you with the knowledge and the confidence to pursue those as well. So that's the journey to miles and points mastery. I think it's Anshul. Anshul's, talking is what he does best, in his own words. So it's going to be a great time with one of my good friends in the space as well. Networking round 2 follows that. We're going to have a different interactive format going on there, punctuated by our prize draw at 4:30 p.m. with the JW Marriott Sky Suite, Presidential Suite, as well as the Aeroplan Worldwide Business Priority Reward. All right, so this thing, for those of you who aren't familiar, it's a priority reward allows you to unlock a 50% discount on a Aeroplan redemption. So that however many points it costs, you'll only pay 50% of the cost when you actually use or redeem a priority reward. Now, different elite status tiers, within Aeroplan can use priority rewards in different ways. And only super elite members get access to worldwide business priority rewards, traditionally. And this is one opportunity if you're not a super elite to actually win this worldwide business priority reward, which means if you're traveling internationally in business class, you can actually get 50% off the cost of that Aeroplan redemption, right? If you're redeeming this the simple way, let's say a round trip to Southeast Asia with 2 stopovers, 1 in each direction, that's 180,000 Aeroplan points. This instrument saves you 90,000 Aeroplan points right there. On the other hand, if you're redeeming this in a more advanced way, let's say you earn this, let's say you win and you earn this in September 2021, right? You have 1 year to redeem it and you can book travel up to 1 year out. So let's say it's 2023 and you're planning a round the world business class trip on which you can put in 16 segments, right? Up to 6 one-way bounds. Those can go up to 360,000 Aeroplan points on one itinerary. And if you were to apply this worldwide business priority reward, it would save you 180,000 points right there. So if optimized, it can be a very, very powerful tool. And even if you just take it pretty easy and redeem for Southeast Asia with 2 stopovers, it's still a solid 90 to 100,000 points in savings. So between these two are grand prizes. We're still, going to be adding some additional prizes between ourselves, between JW Marriott, Air Canada, and then traditionally we've always done a few first class and business class amenity kits that we can give away as well. So that's the prizes that are on offer, and 2 lucky attendees will win these 2 very exciting prizes. Right now, the event is on pre-sale, and general admission opens on Monday, 9 a.m. tomorrow. Monday, tomorrow, 9 a.m. Pacific time. General admission is priced at 239 Canadian dollars, and then Gold, Platinum, Royal Platinum, you each get an incremental $20 off your ticket, off your first ticket. So by now, Royal Platinums and Platinums, I believe many of you have hopped on the ticket sales, and Gold members as well, obviously today. And tomorrow will be general admission when we open it up to the wider public. I've spent a long time talking. I think I didn't mean to spend this long going over all the details. I'll definitely take a little bit of a longer stream afterwards. But let's see if you guys have any questions. I'm happy to answer them. I do need to cover. So safety precautions in response to the COVID-19 pandemic. Obviously, we're following any guidelines that the province of BC sets out. If you're experiencing symptoms over the past 14 days or have come into contact with a confirmed case, then we definitely encourage you to stay home. Our refund policy is to be able to refund these tickets, if your plans change, up to 10 days prior. After that, you can always arrange with a different attendee if you want to transfer the ticket to another person's name. And finally, just in case, fingers crossed it doesn't happen, but just in case BC rolls out stricter COVID-19 regulations for September 25th, let's say there's capacity restrictions or everybody has to be seated or stuff like that, we do reserve the right and the ability to reschedule for a future date if we think that's going to be in the best interest of the event itself. And tickets will be valid, and if you can't attend the rescheduled date, we'll issue a full refund as well. Or maybe we'll take a leaf out of Air Canada's book and say, here's an event, here's a credit that you keep with us. I'm just kidding. All right. So let's see. You guys have some questions? I'm happy to take them. You're from Vancouver, but in Toronto during the event. Ooh, reschedule. Reschedule your trip, my friend. Because it's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to it. But if you can't make it, right, I just want to also say that this is only the first in a new generation of events that we've planned. We've really taken this time, during COVID when we can't get together and it's really limiting for the whole community. But we've really taken this time to kind of envision, what sorts of events might people appreciate, what kind of possibilities are there, and what can we really do for the community as we all come back to in-person events. So this is only the first installment in that series. This one has an open bar. This one has Aeroplan execs. This one has are these two prizes and Angela as the guest. But future events probably will be different, and we look forward to trying out many different things and having the community attend whenever they can. Attend the right event for them. What kind of after party do you think this event will lead to? Great question. Since we're at the JW Marriott, and since they were, they're fairly generous with the 1-tier suite upgrades, so I feel like there's gonna be lots of platinum and titanium Bonvoy members staying, and so suite upgrades are gonna be fairly hotly contested. But hey, whoever has the best suite, invite us, and we'll hang out in the suite, right? Because, like I said, after the event, we've left kind of that time slot for everybody to get dinner. But the JW Marriott Park Vancouver is a pretty big complex. There's space at Honey Salt to hang out afterwards, which is their flagship restaurant in the lobby. There's space around the casino to hang out afterwards. And obviously there's, hopefully we all strike up friendships, and there's parties going on in the Water View and Mountain View suites on every single floor. Let's hope. Or maybe one of you guys will get lucky and actually score the Sky Suite as a complimentary upgrade. I am, ask me if I'm salty at all that I've never gotten this suite. I dare you. It really looks fantastic. I have a good friend of mine who got upgraded once, and he constantly rubs it in my face because it really is a great suite. Prince of Travel After Dark. I guess we didn't intend to go there, but I guess it's a possibility. I mean, let's think back, right? Montreal event 2019, Toronto 2018, Vancouver 2018, Toronto 2017. At all of these events, I've stayed until midnight, just hanging with the community, because that's really what all of this is all about. At the end of the day, being able to form those interpersonal connections and team up with others as we pursue, elevated travel at a discounted cost. That's really what it's all about. It's always my favorite time of the year when we get to do these events. Anybody who comes out, it'll be great to meet you. And to Alan's point, Alan, you said that at previous events you were a little bit shy to break into the groups that had already formed. That is a point I did want to highlight. Without the interactivity in the networking, sometimes we find that people who already know each other can just hang out and be having a good time, and it can seem intimidating for, let's say, a first time event attendee or somebody who doesn't know many people in the community just yet. And so with the interactive networking sessions, we do want to change the game a little bit there and think about creative ways to get people talking to different other people. And there's going to be, some sort of networking game that we play and a few small prizes arranged for the winners there. Are there discounts for people under 18? Right now, no. But I do understand where the question's coming from, because obviously the drinking part is going to be limited for minors. And everybody should bring their ID because alcohol is being served. So Ray, I know that you've been tuning into the streams a fair bit, and I'll take that question back, and I'll be getting back to you about that. Where's the after party? Might just be in whoever is lucky enough to get upgraded to the Sky Suite, or one of the suites. Yeah, Francis. Thomas, sorry, no credit cards. Debit only. Imagine if you came here and said credit cards not accepted. Debit or e-transfer only. All right. So yeah, thanks for getting your questions in, guys. And as if you still have questions about the events or the membership program, throw them in the chat. I'll be happy to answer as we go along. But I think I've done enough self-promotion for today's stream. I did want to get to, chatting about some of the stuff that's going on in the community and answer some of your questions that you may have. But we take all major credit cards, just to answer that question properly. As well as, I feel like if you used Visa debit, it would also go through. Don't worry. Pascal, any Toronto event planned? Nothing planned right now, but for sure Toronto is, a very natural place to do events. So most likely in 2022, I would say. But like I also mentioned earlier, we are committed to doing many different types of events regularly, and making it a part of our lives again. And Toronto, Vancouver, Montreal, these are kind of the major cities, I think, that formal events of this sort are best suited for, and Toronto's definitely in the works. For 2021, though, it'll be Vancouver's the main one that we've got planned. Hey Amadou, how are you? Thanks for tuning in. And thanks for your support here on YouTube, right? As always. So you just got connected. Today's topic, the topics that I did want to also talk about are in the live stream title, which are exciting news from TD, Aeroplan, and American Express this week. But I've spent the first half hour of the stream kind of shamelessly tooting our own horn a little bit about our membership and event that we just rolled out this week here at Prince of Travel. So if you are interested in learning more about that, kind of seeing a little bit behind the scenes about what the membership program is all about, as well as our upcoming Vancouver event on September 25th, 2021, then make sure to dial back and you can watch the beginning of the stream. And I'll continue answering people's questions right now. What's the event capacity? We have capacity for about 150 people at this space, and we've sold about 50 tickets in pre-sale. So the question is, do you recommend all attendees book at the JW Vancouver, and where to stay? So the JW Marriott Vancouver is one of the city's better Marriott hotels. It's probably not cheap compared to other hotels. It depends on your budget, I would say. The thing is, it's not cheap cash-wise, but it's also not a great redemption points-wise unless there's a off-peak point savers events going on, when it can go all the way down to 35,000 Bonvoy points. But I don't believe that they have that going on for that weekend. So there's a few options. One is to stay at the hotel. One is we do hope to be able to make some discounted rooms available for the event, right? We do hope to, because we're hosting with the hotel, we hope to be able to offer some discounted rooms. However, the number of discounted rooms is up in the air. The hotel's kind of saying that, okay, we'll give you this amount first, and then if you fill them up, we'll think about giving you more. We're trying to figure that out with them. But most likely what'll happen is that the discounted rooms will be made available to our Royal Platinum and then Gold members first. So if you are part of those membership tiers, then stay tuned, right? Stay tuned. We're trying to make those available to the extent possible. And then we hope to, be able to publicly say, here's a link to book discounted rooms, but that's up in the air. Depends on what the hotel is, how generous the hotel is feeling. We did try to, we're trying to, I've stayed at the JW Marriott quite a few times. They know that I'm a big fan of the hotel, and we tried to, get them to throw in as many nice stuff for us and, discounts on stuff for us as possible. It is very much a premium venue that doesn't come cheap. So we're really thrilled to actually be able to host it there. Now the other option that came to mind was the Sheraton Wall Center in Vancouver. Is not far from the JW Marriott. It's pretty easily paired with an event at the JW Marriott, a stay at the Sheraton Wall Center, and that's a Category 5 hotel with Marriott Bonvoy, where you could redeem a free night award. for a stay at the Sheraton. Or I think they also do some pretty cheap rates in general at the Sheraton, at least compared to other Bonvoy properties in town. And if you combine that with, let's say, Discover British Columbia, Amex credits, or the Marriott's Bonvoy Amex credits, you can score a pretty nicely discounted rate. And those are probably some of your best options if you're planning a trip into Vancouver around that weekend. It's gonna be. It's probably. I hope that the super expensive prices we've seen around traveling around BC and all across Canada. Hopefully, it will have chilled out a little bit by the time cooler weather comes around in late September. Snowbird 60. Did you get a haircut recently? Actually, I still haven't gotten a haircut. I've just been playing around with things a little bit, trying to grow it out and trying to make it look halfway acceptable as I do, because anybody who's tried to grow out their hair before probably knows that it goes through many different phases as it gets to that stage. So I've had my old haircut where it's like short on the sides and long at the top. I've had that for like 7 years now, so I think it's time for a change. Yeah, JW Marriott Park Hotel. It's a great location. Hopefully some of you will also be able to plan some nice stays at the hotel. I mean, somebody asked about after party. There's a hot tub at the top, on the top floor. Strangely enough, there's no pool at the hotel, but there's just a hot tub that's part of the spa, and that's always a nice place to chill out. So I do hope many of you guys get to connect and keep the ideas flowing in each other's company up on the 18th floor. Any pregame parties next week? Next week, Kunal. What's going on next week? Do you mean before the event? Or do you mean next week? So yeah, I don't think anything's going on next week, but since you are part of our platinum circle, then you can always call like an informal meetup as well. And that's the other thing. Like, yes, we try to build these events and host them, and have people come, but honestly, at the end of the day, anybody can just call their own meet and hang out with some beers with, even if it's like a handful of other people in your city that are all interested in the same thing. So many times the value that comes from that information exchange, far outweighs whatever effort or money that you put into attending and calling events of your own. That's I would say an enduring truth that I've learned over the years. For Marriott hotels, can you use the government rate when you go on leisure travel, Cecil? I think that depends on which government rate that you're using, but in general, I think yes. I know quite a few people who have been using government rates. Actually, quite a few people have been using their government rates to book stays at the JW Marriott for the weekend of this event, and that rate is apparently cheaper than the discounted rate that we're able to provide to select members, like I mentioned earlier. So if you have access to a government rate, by all means use that, because it does seem pretty favorable, all things considered. Any rumors about when the US will open its borders to Canadians for non-essential travel? So Amadou, you can already fly to the US. That's fine. In terms of the land border, the news this week was that the opening of the land border, which was widely hoped to be yesterday, August 21st, actually got extended by another 30 days to September 21st. And that's largely because of the Delta variant situation in the US and how out of control things are spiraling once again. So I think many of us hoped that the land border would be open, especially with the reciprocity, right? Because we opened the land border to American visitors on August 9th. So we hoped that maybe we'd be able to cross the land border on August 21st, but it hasn't been the case. We still need to fly and take a negative test and go through the whole ordeal. Highway Chen Thanks for tuning into the stream. Thoughts on traveling to the US by air? How high is the risk? So I made a trip to, yeah, Amadou. You can fly for non-essential travel. Okay, first of all, what does essential versus non-essential travel even mean? There has never been a precise guideline of what these words mean. They're just, this is one of the areas that I think many governments have dropped the ball on, which is anybody, like right now, anybody is kind of like, the US border agents ask you what the purpose of your travel is. And as long as you have a purpose, it seems that it's deemed essential because they let you go through. So yeah, you can travel to the US by air. To Highway's question, what is the risk of doing so? I took a trip to California 2 weeks ago. Didn't feel much of a risk. In terms of getting stuck there, it's highly unlikely as long as you're fully vaccinated, because you can always fly back to Canada and avoid the 14-day quarantine. You do need to arrange for a COVID-19 test in the States before you embark on your flight. There's ways to get that for free, or you can pay for it. Jace, formerly of pointsnerd.ca, now our team member here at Prince of Travel, wrote an article about getting free COVID tests in the States, which was very divisive to say the least, but the information is out there. And yeah, so it's like a bit of an inconvenience if you're doing the cross-border travel compared to before. Certainly more inconvenient compared to traveling within Canada, but I wouldn't say there's too great of a risk. Obviously, practice, safe hygiene and wear your mask and stuff, especially now with the way that cases are going. But I would also look at where the cases are in the States and just keep that in mind, because I feel like there's pockets of concentration of the rising Delta variant, especially where the unvaccinated masses tend to gather. If you're going down to like California, or if you're going to New York, I think the risk will be significantly lower. Yeah, Jazzy Jest, exactly. Thought the COVID test is free. So there are ways to get it for free, and there are also ways to... But basically, the free test is not intended for travel, right? But it does work for travel. So that's kind of the situation there. Michael Blakeborough, thanks for tuning in. The COVID tests, yeah, they can get expensive for a family of four, especially. Some are in the camp of, if you're traveling for discretionary purposes, you should be prepared to pay whatever costs are associated with it. Others believe that there's no reason tests should cost this much. They're obviously inflated because of the demand for them, because governments keep requiring them. And it just depends on kind of on your perspective. I will say that I paid for my test in San Diego, but that's also because the free test wasn't available, and I needed it on schedule. Okay, Josh, thanks for that little tidbit, right? So I think it does depend on the place you're traveling. So Josh says that in New York City, there's a free test that very much is allowed to be used for travel. So it does very much depend, and it is, as always, incumbent on the traveler to do their research as they go along. Thomas, with your mixed vaccines and your BC digital pass, will the states admit you? There's no vaccination requirement, like Josh said here. Okay, you guys had that conversation. But yeah, the US doesn't have a vaccination requirement right now. It's purely a negative antigen test will do. I think the president has been making signals about potentially implementing vaccination, of proof of vaccination as the new kind of burden of proof if you want to enter the US, but who knows when that'll happen or if that'll happen. It's very much a fluid situation, which we will, as always, endeavor to cover in depth, on the site and in our monthly when can we travel videos, right? Which we try to, we haven't done one for August yet. We'll do one next week for sure. Try to keep everybody up to date on the state of recovering travel around the world. Speaking of which, I did want to get your thoughts on... Oh, okay, before we get there, I do want to get your thoughts too, everybody here, and in general, everybody who follows us, on how you would find the most valuable information for traveling during COVID-19. Some of you may know that we have a resource for COVID-19 travel over on the site at princeoftravel.com/coronavirus. And we try to cover like which countries are open, what their requirements are, whether it's vaccination, whether it's negative test, what kind of negative test. There's so much information out there that it's a lot to digest. It's a lot to bring together. But that's the effort that we're going to be making towards the end of this year, because this volume of information is something that is going to be with us for the next 2-3 years, right? So I think it's important that we help Canadians. We equip Canadians with that information to the greatest extent possible. And I just want your thoughts on like what you would find valuable, I guess. If you have any thoughts, feel free to shout them out here. All right, so here I just put in some links for the stuff that we talked about earlier, and for you guys to check out for our membership and for our signature events. Oh, I guess I can only pin one message, so I'm gonna pin our event one for anybody tuning in after the fact, watching this afterwards as well. Perfect. Yeah, let me know. I'd be interested to hear everybody's thoughts on testing options, which countries are open, mixed vaccines. That's another big one, right? Canadians are kind of unique in that we've got mixed vaccines, and some countries just treat it as an afterthought in terms of not even like most countries won't even declare on their websites whether mixed vaccines are accepted, because it's like a uniquely Canadian problem. So the only way for us, if we didn't want to verify it, would be to actually call all the embassies and like verify with them. But I think we're gonna have to do that because there's no other resource, right, that people can go to outside of calling the embassies themselves as well. Typing speed, I don't know, man. I've never actually done. I feel like I can type pretty fast, but I also know I have some friends who are like typing wizards who can like do the whole actual typing speed test online, and they're very proud of it too. So I don't think I quite live up to that. Should we make the event vaccines required for the peace of mind? So that's a great question. It's definitely tricky territory for us to venture in right here. I think what we'll say is, we'll follow the guidance from the province. So right now there's no requirement for vaccination for indoor events. I don't think we're in a position to be checking people's provincial health cards and stuff like that, just because it's not really the kind of work we want to be doing as event hosts, right? And if, let's say, we've heard from Canada, right, that the vaccine passport is going to be coming in the fall of 2021, there is going to be some kind of standardized vaccine passport. So if that does arrive, and if BC, were to say indoor events, people who attend should be vaccinated, and we can use the Canada-wide vaccine passport as sort of a unified way to check that, as long as it's a sensible way to check, we're happy to follow that guidance. However, personally speaking, I have my doubts as to whether such an effective unified solution will be rolled out by September 25th or at all. If it's going to be sensible, unified, and given the way that Canada has gone about it as of recently, I just don't see it being a good solution. I think they'll try to come up with something. I don't know how good it will be. We'll have to see. I think ArriveCAN for the most part has worked decently though, like to give them some credit too, because I did my ArriveCAN before getting back into Canada, showed them my receipt. They did have to, so speaking of mixed vaccines, people, I just thought I'd share my arrival experience too, because for those of you who don't know, I got my first shot of not Pfizer, but Fosun BioNTech. So the same vaccine as Pfizer, but manufactured by a different manufacturer in Hong Kong. And then I got a second shot of Moderna in Vancouver after the waiting period had passed. So basically I had a mix of Pfizer and Moderna on two different sheets of paper, and And there was also the additional complication that the Pfizer one doesn't say Pfizer on it. It just says the scientific name of the vaccine. But the good thing is Canada has, very much recognized that people may have gotten vaccines in different places, and on their list of approved vaccines, they do have the actual scientific name of the Pfizer one to actually back that up as well. So when I showed up to the border, I had obviously already uploaded copies of both of these vaccine documents to the ArriveCan app. The border agent asked to see my ArriveCan receipt, and then they also asked to see screenshots of these two documents. So they actually, I had to show them my screenshots on the phone. I had to show them the phone, and they were like, is it okay if I swipe? And then they swiped, and then actually they asked me to swipe to the next one just so that they don't they're very, very professional. The border agent was very professional. And I showed them, so my Hong Kong first dose and my BC second dose, and then they were like, yep, we are admitting you as a fully vaccinated traveler, no quarantine, no tests, and I was on my way. So to Amadou's point, everybody interested in travel these days probably does need to be fully vaccinated. We just covered the UAE's reopening policies. Abu Dhabi obviously is open to Canadians, but you do need to be fully vaccinated to enjoy your visit in any way, because you don't need proof of vaccination to enter Abu Dhabi, but you're gonna need it to go to anywhere, do anything in public. Dubai is open to anybody, even if you're not vaccinated. Some people talking about a booster shot too, and I do agree. I do think that the booster shot, it's a matter of time, right? It's a matter of time, and I think once we get the booster shots, that should take care of many of the mixed vaccine issues that many Canadians are facing. Quebec, somebody mentioned Quebec is also offering a booster shot for the purpose of travel, especially given the French connection, right? Because many Quebecers will be going to France, and France is I'm not sure on the details, but I think France was one of the countries that was not accepting a certain mix of vaccines. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. Speaking of France, somebody asked up there if we've made a video yet about the membership rewards to Air France transfer partnership, which I did want to spend some time talking about. We haven't made a video yet, but that's coming next week. It's really, I think a lot of people are quick to write off this new transfer possibility because of the 1 to 0.75 transfer ratio, but that would be missing the bigger picture, which is that having this possibility in place gives you yet another option, especially for traveling to Europe, right? Especially when considering that Aeroplan redemptions to Europe are probably not so great of a deal these days, especially when compared to redemptions to Asia. So if you are the type to travel frequently to Europe, especially from the West Coast, you might actually be able to score a better deal through the Air France or KLM direct flights to Paris or Amsterdam than with just Aeroplan and Air Canada and the Star Alliance partners. It gives you an extra option, even at 1 to 0.75. And next week we'll be writing up a post that highlights some of these extra options that you might consider now that you can transfer MR to Flying Blue. I'll definitely be looking to take advantage of this transfer partnership and build my Flying Blue balance, just because there are some unique sweet spots that I do want to take advantage of. And listen, after let's say you've flown your first Air Canada business class flight, let's say you've done some of the popular Star Alliance flights, you'll also want to mix it up a bit and try SkyTeam Airlines, try different airlines. That's part of the fun of what we do after you've been going at it for a little bit. So yeah, Alan, to your point, SkyTeam is completely off your radar. It has been for most Canadians, I would say, thus far, but from now on, right, there's going to be a viable way to redeem SkyTeam points for SkyTeam flights, and I think it's going to be interesting to a lot of people as they start to explore it. One thing I would say, I think SkyTeam does not allow you to redeem points for another partner airline's first class products. That's one limitation to the alliance. You won't be able to use Flying Blue miles for, let's say, Korean Air first class, or what other first class are there? I don't know. I'm also not very familiar with SkyTeam Airlines, right? Let's see. China Southern or China Eastern, whichever one is still in the alliance. But yeah, there's lots more possibilities, and we'll take our time to explore them once travel picks up again. Yeah, Alan. So KLM and Air France, they do promo rewards, which is one of the first things that you need to know about the Air France program. Every now and then they'll throw up a 25% to 50% discount on economy or business class redemptions, similar to the 50% miles back promotion that Air Canada did last year, where you got 50% miles back after redeeming. But with Air France, they'll just straight up discount it by 25 to 50%. And when they do business class for promo rewards, it's actually going to be a great deal. They seem to put a lot of Canadian cities into these deals. So something like Toronto, Paris on the Air France A350 business class, which I flew last year, very solid product. I would say bang on, like quality for transatlantic flights. It's great. It's gonna be an extra option. I'm very happy that they finally came through with it, because I think some of the people who've been in the game for a while, you might remember many years ago, there was the Air France KLM partnership briefly showed up on the Amex MR Canada portal, and then it soon disappeared. So they definitely jumped the gun a little bit there, but now it's finally live. Kevin, we're talking about Canadian MR points here. For US MR points, it's already a partner. We've got a couple of questions coming through here. Does Prince of Travel membership count as a recurring bill? I mean, technically, yes, it is a recurring bill. I don't know if the credit card issuers will count it. Somebody needs to report back, and we'll see what we can do in terms of the categorization. We'll visit that at some point for sure. Hey, Snowplow, I guess that's your name. Snowplow, thanks for the super chat here. Thank you for your contribution. And your question is, what is the best sweet spot for 330,000 Avion points? I think you've got lots of possibilities, and you mentioned one of them, which is a round the world trip. If you do want to do a round the world trip with 330,000 points, even then you can do round the world possibilities through Avios, Asia Miles, or through a direct cash fare redemption. Okay, so what I mean here is both Asia Miles and Avios, so Cathay Pacific's loyalty program and British Airways' loyalty program, they've got round the world, or actually it's called multi-carrier One World award charts. And what you can do is you can transfer points in, and they've got a chart for like different classes of service and however many miles you cover based on the award space that's available on One World partners. However many miles you cover, you pay a certain number of points, whether it's in Asia Miles or Avios, and you can book that whole thing as part of one itinerary. So your 330,000 Avion points will certainly be enough for that, and in particular with both the Asia Miles and Avios around the world trips, there are very creative things you can do if you're willing to, let's say, suffer long flights in economy class. And the other option with Avion points, if you do have the RBC Avion Visa Infinite Privilege or the Visa Infinite Business Card, what you can do is you can redeem Avion points for business class or first class flights directly at 2 cents per point in value. So with that, you don't have to worry about award availability, right? You're not necessarily getting higher than 2 cents per point in value, but you don't have to worry about award space. You can book any cash fare that's out there that you can find. So if you just want to go around the world, you could look for a business class fare that goes from, let's say, anywhere in Canada to somewhere in Middle East, and then to Southeast Asia, and then back through Asia. And if you can kind of arrange that trip, find it through the RBC portal, or call RBC to book it, then you can use your 330,000 points to offset the cost. Basically, essentially, your 330,000 points are going to be worth $6,600 towards the full cost of any business class or first class fare, including the taxes and fees. Anyway, that's kind of my answer there. If you have any follow-ups, feel free to shout them out. Michael, what are your sweet spots that I want to use Flying Blue for from Vancouver that's better than Aeroplan? Great question. I've yet to do all the research into this article that we're going to write about the sweet spots, so look out for that article coming next week. But I'm going to say that not all sweet spots are going to be from Vancouver, right? If a sweet spot is compelling enough, but it actually begins somewhere else, let's just take one example. If anybody's dreaming of going to Bora Bora, right? Obviously one of the most celebrated destinations here in the points circles, business class flights to Bora Bora are quite tough to book. In fact, I would recommend anybody who's interested in that trip, plan the trip 1 year in advance, because that's your best shot of getting business class space on flights and the premium hotels to line up, right? If you're planning less than 1 year in advance, you might find the award space at, like, let's say the Conrad Bora Bora or the St. Regis Bora Bora, but you might not find business class flights. So then you have to book economy on United or Air Tahiti Nui, or even, God forbid, French B, which is like a super cheap low-cost carrier from LAX to Tahiti, or to Papeete. And then you have to book a separate flight to Bora Bora too. So to get the business class flight, one of the best options is Air France business class from Los Angeles to Tahiti. And they release space far in advance, 1 year in advance. That's an example of an Air France sweet spot that I probably will take aim for now that this membership rewards to Air France transfer possibility is in place. It's not departing straight from Vancouver, but I will just, redeem a simple Aeroplan or cash fare down to LAX and book that hard to book flight departing from Los Angeles. Yeah, like in general, I would say if we were to broaden this point, if you're looking at transfer possibilities outside of the usual suspects, right? Here in Canada, Aeroplan, Alaska, Avios, Asia Miles, those are kind of the most easily accessible ones. If you're looking outside of these, you almost don't want to be limited to your home city when you're considering sweet spots, because oftentimes the amount of effort that's needed to earn points in some of these other programs that are still valuable, those sweet spots might be tailored to another city, but it's still worth it for you to start out of that city and then just book a separate flight between your home city and that city. Another example might be Virgin Atlantic Flying Club, right? 60,000 Virgin Atlantic miles from anywhere in the US or USA to Tokyo in first class, 60,000 miles. But you're not going to originate from Canada for that, but it's still worth it to originate from the States and then book your positioning flight there. Does Swiss fly Vancouver Zurich, or is it only seasonal with Edelweiss? It's only seasonal. It's only seasonal with Edelweiss. I wouldn't be surprised if Aeroplan added in partnership with Edelweiss Air, because they've just been snapping up all the Lufthansa subsidiaries like it's nothing, right? Air Dolomiti, Eurowings, Discover. Edelweiss seems like a very natural next choice, and they do have that Zurich-Vancouver route. I mean, it's not going to be the most luxurious way to fly, but I think it's still lie flat, which is very convenient, especially given there's not that many direct flights from Vancouver into Central Europe, so it would be very welcome if they were to do that. Hey, Abby, thanks for tuning in. You received email about merchandise, you received the email about the membership, but not about the merchandise. Is membership required to buy merchandise? Abby, yeah, thanks for dropping in. By the way, if there's any existing Patreon members who have yet to migrate their accounts, just to go back to membership for a quick second, if you have yet to migrate your account to Prince of Travel membership, you want to do so today, because the end of today, if you do the migration by today, we will refund your August 1st payment, and so you're effectively getting like 3 weeks of membership for free, because our new membership model bills on the same date every month. But if you don't migrate by today, we're not going to refund the August payment, because then it's getting to the end of the month, and we set a deadline there just to keep it fair. For your question, merchandise hasn't launched yet. We will launch it later this year, and we're soft launching it. So before it goes public, we're soft launching it for people who attend our Vancouver signature event, which is pinned at the top of this chat. Hope that answers your question. Fazin, hey Fazin, thanks for dropping in. It's good to see you around. Thanks for your support here on YouTube, as always. So you have a question about status with Marriott Bonvoy. How are the nights you are required to stay determined? Is it per calendar year? Yes, it's based on the calendar year. So on January 1st of every year, your status gets reset. Your elite nights get reset. So calendar year basis. That's why end of the year mattress runs are such a popular undertaking. And if anybody needs a recap about Marriott Bonvoy's status strategy, getting the Bonvoy card here in Canada gets you 15 elite nights. If you were to get into US credit cards and get both the personal and the business US credit cards, the Bonvoy Brilliance and the Bonvoy Business, let's say, those would stack into 30 elite nights, and so you're only 20 away from 50 elite nights, which is required for platinum elite status, and that's where you get all of the nice benefits. And I would say if you want to meaningfully participate in Bonvoy, right, if you want to be redeeming points for free stays, and also, whenever you pay cash for a stay, you want to be maximizing your earnings from those stays, and you want to be treated nicely whenever you do stay, you definitely need at least platinum status. And the good news is these days, it's not that hard to get, especially if you can get into the US credit cards. Now, this year, especially, and possibly next year as well, right? They've been giving people elite nights like candy. So I think a lot of us are just platinums and titaniums for not actually staying that much. But I don't expect next year to be quite as generous as this year. Pak and Lee, have you ever been to an Arsenal game at the Emirates? Big Arsenal fan. Oh man, we need to. My condolences. I'm sure you feel the same. It's been a rough time recently, and honestly, I've been losing a fair bit of interest in just watching the games, just because the performances have been so terrible. But to answer your question, I did a study abroad in London in 2014 to 2015, and I went to like 12 games over the course of the season, and that was an awesome time in my life. That we were actually playing decent football back then, so I really enjoyed it. And even now, the last time I went was in late 2019, so I try to like go once a year if I can, and if not, like once every 2 years. But yeah, now it's mostly a time of suffering rather than. Oh man, Fawzin's a Chelsea fan. So I answered your question earlier, Fawzin, but now I regret it because you can you can answer your own questions going forward. Len Wu, thanks for dropping in, man. How's it going over in Japan? I hope it's going well. And Len. So Len is I would call out as one of our members of the community that's most interested in leveraging status for premium suite upgrades, right? Not just getting any suite upgrade. Len is not happy unless he gets like the presidential or the vice presidential suite just by talking in the chat. And that's a level of dedication that, not even I have sometimes, because they're like, you do need to kind of push their buttons quite a fair bit if you want to get the best upgrades sometimes. And Len like just does not pull out the stops. Like he will pepper them in the chat until they give him the suite that he wants. Yeah, I think it's always interesting to think about like all the different angles that people enjoy from this game, right? Some people really enjoy the business class and first class. Some people definitely prefer the swanky suites. I like both. I probably prefer flights a little bit more, just because it's so the action of taking flight is so powerful. But I know Jessie, my partner, she actually much prefers the hotel experience. Whenever we're flying, she'll just sleep for like 80% of the time. But when we're at a nice hotel, she really gets to relax and enjoy her surroundings. So let me know too what you guys think. But Len, to your point about premium suites, I'm gonna write an article next week about my thoughts on premium suites and like how to actually go for those presidential, vice presidential suites, how to make that happen. One way is to sweet talk your way, but I came across some very interesting Hyatt redemptions. Some people might know what I'm talking about, but I really think there's incredible value in the Hyatt program that I've yet to discover myself and that I'm very interested in discovering alongside you guys. All right, so we've got some football banter in here. Chelsea fans in the chat. You guys can, fair play. European champions, like you guys are at high points, and we are definitely in one of the lowest points in our recent history. When booking with Marriott, can you stack free night awards and the fifth night free? Only if you book 6 nights. So you can't do like 3 nights with points and then a free night award and get a fifth night free. You can't do that. So you have to use 4 points for 4 nights, then you get the 5th night free. Then if you wanted to add a free night award for a 6th night, you can do that. Oh, yeah, Jason. Pretty sure this is Jason. Premium Suites. Yeah, it's it's a really interesting angle that I think it's yet another one of those levels that you might look into, right? If you've pursued all the business classes, if you've done first class, if you've stayed at regular suites, your mind might be wondering, how can you get more presidential suites just to live it up a little bit extra? And so there's always new things that new possibilities to explore, especially if you have higher globalist status through the deal that they had earlier this year. Do you think the Ritz-Carlton card through the Bonvoy, through upgrading the Chase Bonvoy Boundless is worth it? Better than the Chase Reserve? Okay, so this is a US specific question, but I will answer it because I am interested in getting the Ritz-Carlton card eventually. Now the Ritz-Carlton card, as I understand it, is discontinued to new applications right now, but it is available as an upgrade option from the Chase Boundless or the Chase Bold card. And I am interested. The reason I am interested is because I think there's two reasons. One is unlimited priority pass access, including to airport restaurants, which is not included on American Express priority passes, but it is included on Visa ones such as Chase, for yourself and for authorized users, as I understand it. So that's one reason. The other reason, can't remember if there was another reason. Probably there's like a free night award on there or something. Somebody remind me if you have it handy. But I do want to get that card. But first, I need to get a Chase Boundless or a Chase Bold. And before that, I need to get myself a Chase Hyatt card because I'm starting to stay with Hyatt, now, and I want that credit card. I've recently dipped back under 524, which is, those of you who are familiar will know, it's the rule that you can't get another Chase card if you've gotten more than 5 over the past 24 months. Sorry, 5 or more over the past 24 months. So I've recently dipped below that. I'm just waiting for the Chase Hyatt Visa to come up with a better bonus. Maybe I'm being greedy, but I'm waiting patiently for it to come up with a better bonus before I apply. After that, I'll be turning my attention to the Chase Marriott side of things. So yeah, like to Jason's point here, the priority pass perks are certainly valuable, and I'll definitely go for the Ritz card when the timeline lines up. Let's take this stream until 5:30 p.m. Pacific, so 13 more minutes ish, and it's been a great time hanging out with all of you as usual. Now, where would I like to travel next? We are considering like a Zanzibar trip in November, so that's something we're considering. Just a quick week getaway, and maybe I'll do some flying afterwards, try out some new products out there. Pretty happy to enjoy, the best of Vancouver during the summer. It's a great time to be in the city. And then when the weather starts getting a little bit colder and darker and rainier, that's when we'll probably be looking to do a few trips. Can you get a Visa Infinite Privilege without the annual income requirements? I mean, only if you can get it waived by a bank representative. If you have that existing banking relationship, it never hurts to ask. Sometimes, especially if you've been with a bank for a while, they might be willing to waive it, or they might be willing to, consider your overall income picture and see if you can tell a story of an income that meets the requirement. Let's say with household income, let's say you live with whoever lives under the same roof as you. If you guys all meet 200K, then that would work for sure. Thoughts on the new Amex Green Card? I assume here in Canada, obviously as of August 16th, it has replaced the Amex Choice Card, which was fairly minor in the first place, and the Green Card continues to be fairly minor, I'd say. It's the cheapest, it's a no annual fee membership rewards card. It hasn't really got much going for it. Sign a bonus of 10,000 MR points. Basically, there was a lot of uncertainty, right, about are membership rewards select points becoming membership rewards points before August 16th. And it gets really complicated to explain, but basically the answer is yes and no, right? They are becoming membership rewards points in the sense that, yes, membership rewards select points can now be transferred one-to-one to airline partners. We know that. Obviously, making the Cobalt card along with the Business Edge and the Green Card. Very, very powerful if you do want to, maximize through Aeroplan and British Airways and now Air France. And then the other answer is no, because they're still actually separate in the back end. One is still known as Membership Rewards, one is still known as Membership Rewards Select, and therefore you can't merge between the two, it seems. So you're not able to merge your, let's say, Platinum card points with your Cobalt card points, or your Business Platinum card points with your Green card points. And so those of us who might have been hoping to use the no-fee Green card to like park all of our MR points, including those Platinum, Business Platinum cards, we're probably left disappointed because we're not able to merge it that way. We can only merge the Green card points with the Cobalt and the Business Edge. Like I said, it's super in-depth, like detailed stuff that you probably don't need to know if you're just looking to use up your points and you don't worry about parking them for now. All right, Abhai, you've been asking about the new TD offers for a while, and we'll definitely make a video about them at some point. I think they're very, very strong. Last time we spoke, I did try to hint at people that the offer was probably going to get better. So, if you're getting FOMO on the Monday before the offers came out, I did try to hint at people to hold off a little bit. So with TD Aeroplan Visa Infinite, we're seeing 55K, right, Aeroplan points if you were to convert the Buddy Pass. With the TD Aeroplan Visa Infinite Privilege, we're seeing 95,000 Aeroplan points upon converting the Buddy Pass. And the magical thing is it's only after $1,000 spent. So if you're a low spender, if you're stretched to the limits with the Aeroplan Reserve, with the Platinum cards, with all of those summer offers that came out, and you just want to take it easy for a little while and not have to worry about, how am I going to meet this spend and this spend and this spend, or stretch yourself too thin with gift card purchases, then the TD Aeroplan Visa Infinite Privilege or the Core card would be a good choice because it's only 1,000 points and it gets you a very sizable number of Aeroplan points, along with the Buddy Pass, which you have the option to convert. Yeah, the TD offers, and then also I'd be remiss not to mention the First Class Travel Visa Infinite, which we tend to gloss over in the TD ecosystem in favor of the Aeroplan one. But right now, TD First Class Travel Visa Infinite, 100,000 points, that's worth $500 towards any type of travel. And we always say, right, use your Aeroplan points and your MR points for these high value flight redemptions because that's where the value is strongest. But once you're on the ground, let's say you have to book a side trip on a low cost carrier, or let's say you have to book anything you can book through Expedia, like even attraction tickets, hotels, car rentals, that kind of stuff. You want to save your fixed value travel points like TD Rewards and Scotia Rewards, and to some extent HSBC as well, because that allows you to save on those costs without having to pay for them. So 100,000 points on the TD First Class Travel, if you can apply for it or product switch from your existing Aeroplan, open up yourself to the possibility of product switching back later on. That's probably it's a very positive series of offers from TD. We'll make a video at some point just to package it all for the best, package up all the information. What's my favorite Marriott brand? It's gotta be JW Marriott for me. That's just because if you go back to watch the Marriott's 30 Brands Explained video I had made, which seems to have performed fairly well because if you search Marriott on YouTube, it's one of the first search results. And I'm glad that there's people searching because there are so many brands and it gets a little bit confusing. But my favorite, as I explained in that video, is the JW Marriott. It's usually almost always, right, with some exceptions, but almost always gets luxury done right, but in an approachable manner. So it's not like that kind of, super stuffy, super obnoxious or ostentatious luxury that you might find at St. Regis's or Ritz-Carlton's. Don't get me wrong, I love indulging in that, but sometimes when you're sitting down at breakfast, in your sandals and your disheveled hair, and you've got people in suits and ties next to you at the St. Regis, the atmosphere is a little bit stuffy like that. Whereas at the JW Marriott, it's always been very family friendly, approachable, and just a better feeling overall. What's the best gift card purchase location with the current Platinum 10X? Anywhere that takes American Express that sells gift cards. That codes as eats and drinks. So if you're in Vancouver, Safeway, Save on Foods. If you're in Ontario, Metro, Sobeys. Can you get approved for both the Aeroplan Infinite and the Privilege at the same time? Yes. They're two separate products. You can get approved for both. TD recently has been a little stricter on the approval criteria, but it's definitely possible. Especially if you do get a decline or a pending, call in to state your case. AJ, can you tell me how much one MR point is worth? So check out points valuations on the Prince of Travel site. If you just Google points valuations, it should show up. And that's where we keep our valuations of each different points currency updated on a quarterly basis. So right now, I think we value one MR point at 2.2 cents, Canadian cents. So your 10,000 MR points would be worth roughly 220 Canadian dollars. But we generally say that as kind of a target valuation that you should be aiming for whenever you're thinking about redeeming. Yeah, Alan, so the JW Marriott Singapore South Beach was probably the best breakfast I've ever had at any hotel until later that trip when I went to the St. Regis Bali as well. But when I went to the JW Singapore, the elite breakfast can be taken in either the lounge or the hotel's restaurant, and both are amazing. Just so many options, and the quality was really good. And even the drinks that they had for breakfast, like there was a whole cabinet of juices and like flavored waters, coffees, teas, everything. I do miss that place. I do miss Singapore. They recently just opened a vaccinated travel lane with Germany, and they also said that people coming from Canada can enter. They just have to do quarantine, I believe. So that's a good sign. It's a good sign. Hopefully it's a step in the right direction for Singapore opening, maybe quarantine free, or maybe for quarantine free for fully vaccinated travelers from countries that have strong vaccination rates and low case counts. And hopefully Canada does fit that bill. All right, I'm going to hop off in about 3 minutes time. Really enjoyed chilling with you guys as always. But yeah, lots of questions flowing through. Is the Cobalt card worth it? Everybody will tell you with this week's changes, the Cobalt card is undeniably one of Canada's best credit cards now, especially if you're maybe not interested in like swapping out cards all the time. If you just go with the Cobalt and you shop at places that take American Express, it's gonna pay off 5 times the points. It kind of speaks for itself, especially now that those points can be transferred to Aeroplan. Ishan's in here gloating about Chelsea again, so you can make yourself scarce. How do you know which hotels? So we had some questions about, are hotels in the US giving breakfast, or are they still cheaping out? How do you know which hotels do, which hotels don't? The honest answer I found is that there's really not a great resource right now for which hotels are doing what breakfast benefits. The best way might be to call the hotel or to send them an email after you've made your booking, or you can check places like Flyer Talk, the forum, where people who've stayed recently might have commented like what the current situation is. Is there a live stream next week? Yes, we're doing live stream next week. Stay tuned. We might have some special guests on. Should be fun. Should be a good time. And yeah, definitely trying to do these live streams as much as we can. So expect them, on a regular basis, bi-weekly certainly. That's always the goal, if not every week. But yeah, this week I've been happy to be able to walk you guys through a little bit about the new stuff that we launched and hopefully get some of you guys involved there. But otherwise, right, that's about 1 minute to 5:30 over here in Vancouver. So I'm gonna pop off. It has been a great session as usual. Thanks to all the familiar faces and all the new faces for tuning in. Ishan, you just can't resist, can you? But also, you have a point. You're not wrong. yeah, I'm gonna hop off now. I hope you guys enjoyed the stream, and I'll see you guys next week. Hope you guys have a great rest of the weekend, and we will chat soon. Thank you. Bye.